Welcome in. It's episode 12, and it's the week of Christmas. We're going to be talking about some stuff today. So welcome into episode 12 of The Well. I'm Drew.
And I'm Kat.
And we're here today. We're going to talk about, what are we talking about?
Did you say today? Today?
Today? We're here today to talk about, it's been a struggle. It's Monday, and I'm struggling already. I'm struggling.
Struggle bus. But I'm not.
I got a
so
whole
we're
fleet.
balancing each other out.
I'm just not in a bus. I'm in a fleet of struggle.
A bus.
So, yeah.
You're in a small dinghy trying to make it across.
How did we go from
channel.
a fleet to a dinghy?
I don't know.
Where's this going?
Random. Have you ever tried to touch your computer screen because you thought it was touch screen and then you realized no, it's really not? Okay.
No.
Continue.
Thank you. So today, well, let's give a little backstory. So Catherine's an experience person. Everything is an experience. So she loves experiencing things. So obviously we're on social quite a bit, always trying to see what the world is talking about and, get some perspective. And so locally we look for things to do. Actually, Catherine looks for things to do. And I feel like we always fall victim of the social media propaganda. The bait and switch. Today, we're going to talk about that bait and switch. When you're scrolling and you're like, wow, that looks incredible. That looks like fun. That looks amazing. And then you show up and you're like, wow, this is completely different than what we just watched.
It's true. And it happens often. It's just a sign of really good marketing. But then one time I got really mad because I was like, it's good marketing, but I feel like they're lying to me. And then I got mad because it was like, they're lying.
But it does raise the question, isn't that all advertising, right? They're not going to advertise. TV commercials tend to make things look better. The internet
got the perfect example.
Social. Share, please.
Pharmaceuticals.
Oh, gosh.
Medication ads. Those people look like they are having the best time. They really do. And I'm like, are even like people not on medication really having that great of a time? So it really does make you want to try it.
I guess it depends on the medication.
True. Okay.
I mean, some of that medication might be pretty good. Well, we were sitting the other night talking, as we often do, and we were kind of recapping the year and kind of walking through some experiences in the past, not just this past year, but in the years past. And just having a good chuckle, because we always seem to land on these odd, random experiences. I'm gonna abuse the word experience today in this podcast, so I apologize. But I don't know how else to phrase it. The moments that we spend doing things together don't always meet expectations. And I feel like it's not because of you and I. So
No. I can give an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or
Please.
You want to give an example?
No, you first. Ladies first. Always. Always.
So this is a different example than what we discussed already. Christmas time, I guess it doesn't matter when. It was like 2 years ago, something like that. And I see on Instagram, on social, this really awesome restaurant. And I'm like, oh, wow, it's super themed. It looks so cool. And I will preface my example by saying it was fun and we had really good memories, but we got there and the menu was weird. It was like it was called something that did not go with the menu at all. It was a nautical themed restaurant, but yet the menu was very random. I don't even remember what they had. It was like pork rinds
yeah. And we're kind of like a landlocked state. So the nautical theme in the middle of a parking lot
area.
Just felt, it felt out of place, but the menu was interesting. And I think I have to say, if it wasn't for you, we probably would not have had a good time, because I was like, what
is this?
And we got all decked out. So in all fairness, we put on our full Christmas fits. We were very festive, very cheery, and we always have a good time regardless. But
yes,
it was a letdown because you showed me the social media promotions.
Yes.
I was like, this looks like fun. And we got in there and I think there was 2 people in the whole restaurant.
Right.
And
now, granted, we were kind of early. I think it was like 5, which is usually my my time.
But it started like from 4 to something. It was like a set time.
Good point.
So
yeah,
it just felt like the bait and switch.
And it was festive in there. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was festive. You know, we ended up on their social because we were like one of the only people that had
I think we're the only people that showed up.
And it was cool. I mean, that part of the experience was not lacking. It was just the food was not holiday food, and it was just a random menu of things.
And even the drinks.
Yeah,
even the drinks were, I mean, just because you served it in a Santa cup, it just, I don't know. It just didn't feel festive.
They weren't very good. Yeah.
No.
I think we brought the festiveness.
Yeah, because everyone kept coming up to us and asking to take our picture or
That's
take
right.
picture. We're not local celebrities by any means. So.
No. Yeah, it was funny though. They were like, y'all are so cute. And I was like, of course. Yeah, but what about y'all? Like, come on now. Anyway, so that was one experience.
It was a letdown. But to counterbalance that, I'll share a good experience that exceeded expectations.
Okay.
Because those are few and far between. So, I'm going to keep referencing it. Catherine is an experienced person, so she's always researching things to do.
Yes.
And I have to say, bless her heart, because I am not a planner. I am, I guess, that typical male that just doesn't, But I try. I don't just sit back and wait.
No, you do.
You're just better at it than me. So she found something that was a game. It was a game show, and we were going to be on this game show. But it's like how would you just? I guess it's not like a real game show, but it is a real game show. But it's not televised. So
right. It's like an escape room, but for game show. Yeah.
So I heard this, and my anxiety instantly kicked in. I'm like, yeah, no. I'm not doing that. That's not for me. I'm not the most extroverted person. So that kind of stuff stresses me out, gives me anxiety. But
although you are excellent at trivia, like you're so good at game show stuff. So I was like, this will be cool. We need to get out. I was like, we need to get out. It's been a while. I saw the Instagram reel or whatever it was.
And I didn't. I try not to look too much into it because it creates more anxiety for me if I know ahead of time. I kind of have to be just thrown in the deep end sometimes to get over my anxiousness. So we get there.
Go.
No, I do. And I don't put up too much of a struggle.
No, you don't.
It's just getting me out of the house can be a little bit tricky sometimes. I'm kind of like a cat going to the vet. As soon as you try and put it in the carrier, it's like, no, not happening. So we get there, we wait, and then it was funny because it was like really slow. There was like nobody there.
Oh, yeah. But, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But when we went in, we were greeted so nicely.
Yes, we were. And
even though there was nobody there, I was like, oh no, is this a bad sign? There's like no one here. But we try to go on off hours.
We do. Because it's always busy around us. But
yeah, and we don't.
So anyway, everyone's probably like, get to the point. So we get in there and it's just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we they walk us back into the game room. Now it looks like a game show. They have a screen and then they have kind of that, what's it called? The Great
They're like
Game
counter.
Show? Yeah. So they have buzzers and buttons and
left and right side, blue and right.
So we got split up and competed against each other since there was no one else there. And the host comes out. Now this is where things got good, which we don't usually say.
I know, so true.
This guy was great. He had the correct amount of cheese for a game show host. He was super engaging. He had his quirky, kind of corny, funny jokes, and he made us feel like the room was full.
Right.
So I was not expecting that. Literally, there was just two of us, and I thought this guy's going to be like, yeah, all right, we're going to blow through this.
Because usually people are. They're like, oh, it's not a group. I don't need to be that high energy. I don't have to give it my all. He gave 110%.
And we had a blast. And won.
He was so funny.
I did win. So
you had to tell that. Of course you did. That.
But it was very interactive, and it was great. Yeah. So that experience exceeded expectations in the sense of, wow, you're taking me to go play on a game show that's not real? That sounds like a terrible idea, right? So
You didn't tell me that. That's
I'm just saying
thought.
that's in my brain what I think about every experience. This just sounds like a terrible idea. So, and I hate being right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I've gotten better. We've gotten better. But it's been tough. And it's kind of that going back to that bait and switch where we'll find things online. And here's another example. So what did we do last week? We went to
a museum.
Yes.
And it was so I had heard about an exhibit at the museum. Well, I can say what museum it is because we're in Dallas. Yeah. So it's the art museum here. I go I do things at the museum, like on their board, but I don't usually go often to the exhibits unless I see something really good. So I had talked to somebody who was like, oh, you need to go see the constellations exhibit. And I was like, oh, what's that? And they're like, oh, well, it's like over 300 pieces of jewelry. Each one is made by a different artist. And I'm like, oh, this sounds really cool. And the person telling me was actually, I trusted that they were telling me it was good. It was going to be good. So I was like, oh, this sounds great. Let's go. And so we went during the week and it was awesome. I mean, the exhibit was so cool. It was really well done. There are stories with every piece of jewelry.
I got to pause you. So okay. Catherine being the super planner that she is, we get there. Right.
It used to be better.
And it used to, what was it, 10 o'clock? We got there at 10 in the morning.
It was 10:30. 10:30. We only waited 20 minutes.
And we park, we walk up to the door, and Catherine's like pulling at the door. I did. I had to pee. Pulling at the door, and it's locked. So she's trying every door at this point to get in. And I'm looking, and it's like opens at 11.
Uh-huh.
But my brain wasn't connected to my mouth at that point, so I didn't say anything until the woman came out and said, "Can I help you?"
Uh-huh.
And then I said,
I finally realized. Yeah.
So
yeah, but I used to be really good about. I used to check. Like I used to be really obsessive about checking the website and making sure I had all. And the past year I just have been tired, so I don't do as much research as I used to. But that's okay. So we waited for about 20 minutes and then we went in. And this is gonna sound awful, but I feel like every single time I go to the museum, there is like 20 bus loads of kids. I mean, it doesn't matter what time or what day. And I think it's great. Like, I don't want people to think that I do not support. I can tell
you really think it's great.
No, hush. I don't want people thinking I don't support like art education for the youth. I think it's awesome. But I don't do well in crowds. And the older I get, the less well I do. So I was like in the jewelry exhibit, and I'm like, people like these kids are running around me, and I'm like, but anyways, but I knew that was going to be part of the experience. But I do have to say the jewelry was phenomenal, and I was like, oh, since there's so many people in this exhibit, I didn't get a chance to read all the labels to learn about the artists and why they created their pieces. And I was like, I bet you, or at least I hope that they have a book you can buy in the museum shop. And sure enough, they did. And it was so well done. I mean, the book was amazing. So of course I bought the book and I brought it home so I could read it. But that part was awesome.
Yeah, but you're missing the other part.
No, I'm getting to the other part.
Okay, but wait. What we need to explain is
I have a membership.
You have to buy.
Free.
You do. You have a membership, but then you have to buy tickets to each exhibit. So even if you get a general admission ticket to the museum, you need to pay an additional fee.
It really bothers me.
For each featured exhibit. So the jewelry exhibit and then the other exhibit were two separate fees.
Yeah.
So the jewelry exhibit, I will say, was good. There was a lot of great artwork, a lot of great pieces. It was well curated.
It was. It was gorgeous.
It was inspirational, kind of what we were there for, is to draw some inspiration. So that was good.
Yes.
And I was looking forward to the second exhibit, because, there's some notoriety behind the artist.
Do you remember the name?
We can put it in the show notes, but
it's Kusama.
Okay.
Kusama is the artist. Yeah. And she's really well known. We can put it in the notes, but
yeah, I mean, super cool stuff.
Yes. And she has a lot of artwork. I mean, she's done a lot of stuff. She's an older woman, Asian woman. She loves pattern and design. And I was like, oh, this should be really interesting because they kept advertising the exhibit. Do you want to tell it?
So
and I'm not minimizing the loveliness of what they had. It was,
but you walk in and they have like the ropes for the line. There was no one in line,
and there was a big space.
And they had a lot of information about the artist's work and some background and pictures, kind of get you ready for the experience. I had no clue what we were walking into. So
me either.
One of the museum people that work there, attendants, thank you. She stops us and she goes, some ground rules. And I'm thinking, okay, no flash photography, no this.
Don't touch.
She's like, you have to put your cell phone on a lanyard if you're going to go into the room. I'm like, okay. You can't bring anything else into the room.
So I had to put my purse in a cubby. The cubbies. Open cubby. So in my mind, I'm like trying not to freak out that someone's going to steal my wallet out of my bag.
And then they said, you'll be escorted in and the attendant will remain in the room. Okay. So we put our cell phones on these like rubber lanyards hanging from our neck.
Can you pause for a second?
Of course.
I need to add more context as to when we walk into the main entrance to this big, huge space, exhibition space. They have probably 3 different walls, huge walls plastered with her information, like you said in the photos. They have a huge I call it a title screen wall where it announces the exhibit, and it looks huge, right? When you first come in. And then we see the line, they have all these huge ropes and things everywhere. And you think you're going into this humongous exhibit full of lots of things. Okay, continue.
So we get into the room.
Wait.
And it's very small. Oh.
So there's like 4 attendants in front of the room and there's a little ramp and I'm like, where are we going? And it's dark. It's like really dark and the people are kind of like, here, come in, okay, now go.
No, continue.
No. Okay.
Just continue, please. No, you tell it. You tell it. You're already there.
We walk in and there's a little walkway. They open the door, you go up this little ramp and you walk into this room. And then we realize that we're in a box. Like we're literally in a very small, not even shoebox size. It's a square room that has mirrors all over it. And the little walkway is like a strip, maybe 2 feet in front of us. And you literally walk in and the attendant walks in behind you and you look down on the ground and there Kusama, I can't remember. Anyway, it's her artwork. There are all these pumpkins and they're orange pumpkins, all different sizes all over. So it's like a U shape. And the pumpkins have been, I guess, painted with black dots. So they're polka dots. It's a really cool experience. So literally the guy is behind us and the whole point of the lanyards is so you don't drop your phone into the pumpkin patch. And so then we're like, okay, we're going to take some photos. We took some photos. And again, it was a beautiful experience. But then literally you spend 5 seconds and then you turn around and you walk right back out. And that was it. I was like, oh, I asked the attendant, I said, because I thought we would go around, into like the next area. And I was like, oh, is that it? And because she was like, oh, well, you can get your purse back now. And I was like, oh, that's it? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. So it was just bizarre. So it's bizarre to me that you would pay an additional fee for something like that, but I could be totally wrong. I needed more. And I felt like I didn't get enough.
So I pulled up the picture here and I know the people that are listening won't be able to see it, but I'm circling the guy
attendant.
is like standing right there. Now, just because of all the mirrors, it looks a lot bigger than it is. Literally, the where we're standing was maybe 3 feet long and like 3 feet wide. It was like just this
not even
square.
3 feet. Yeah, it was
super tiny.
It was. I felt like I was in a box.
Now, these pieces were beautiful.
Right.
But that's all there was. So, which is fine. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is interesting. So we walk out, right? We get our stuff, and I'm waiting to go to the next exhibit, and we just exit. There is nothing else. It was just a square box
there was
in the middle of a room. Yes,
immediately. Like you
another
take 2
shop,
steps, and there was
like,
a shop.
I need to buy more crap. So it just was like, wow, this was interesting. It wasn't bad.
I shouldn't say weird. Yeah.
It didn't meet expectations at all.
I thought there'd be more.
Yes.
And actually, a friend of mine said, when I asked her, because she had seen it, and she was like, yeah, it's nice. Now I get it. Because there was only one thing.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it was a letdown. I was like, wow, like this should have been more. Literally, it took 2 minutes. I couldn't imagine if there was anyone else there, how quickly they'd rush you out of there. So we were fortunate that there was no one else waiting. I
have to say, though, I didn't see any social promotion on it. That was just word of mouth. Well, that was just something we ended up going to, but the Constellations exhibit was the main event.
That was
I just was like, well, let's go check out the others. Then we went on to the last one.
Yes. It just, I get irritated just thinking about this stuff. So one of the other things, unfortunately, this topic might be a little boring as we're sitting here.
No, it's not, because I know people can relate.
So, Catherine,
people
again,
have to no, go ahead.
People have to tell what?
People should tell us what their experiences have been. I would love to know from people, like, what have you seen advertised, and you go and you're like, wah, wah.
So here's another one that's a wah, wah.
Yeah.
I was super excited. Catherine planned a birthday party.
You forgot the other exhibit, the third exhibit.
I didn't think that was bad.
No, it wasn't bad. But they had a lot of pieces in there that I think I expected more in that exhibit. But it was a nice variety.
But that was another exhibit you had to pay extra for.
Yeah, you had to pay extra for that. So that kind of, I don't know. I'm not a bit. You think about all these museums that are for free all over the United States, and I get that you have to pay for the exhibits, but at the same time, if I didn't have the membership, I would have paid for like 3 different exhibits. Okay, we can close that.
Which is a pain, right? We can close it now. You sure?
Yes, positive.
You
can go on to the big shabam.
The big shabam. So Catherine planned a trip for a birthday of mine, which was great. So she planned a trip to Vegas for like 4 days. We were having a blast. But this was one of the gifts for my birthday. Not only just the travel, but she booked an experience. Now, me being the, sneaker lunatic that I am, she booked a experience where I got to create my own sneaker. At least that's what we thought. So
please clarify that the whole purpose of the trip was for this workshop. Okay.
Yes. So
otherwise I wouldn't have gone.
I was pretty stoked. I was like, this is going to be fun. Something I've never done, something I want to do. And it was by somebody that is well renowned in the sneaker customizing arena. We'll leave it at that. We won't out anybody. I'm sure people that collect sneakers or into sneakers can figure it out. So we're in the store and we're getting ready.
Can we back up?
Of course.
Before you describe the experience, I want to give context as to how much research I did to find this for you.
Not enough.
I literally had seen all these things on TikTok, these videos about what an amazing experience customizing your own sneakers, and this was a very advanced class, where you like even did like leather things and paint and, embellishments and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, this has to be a slam dunk, right? There was either one in California or one in Las Vegas. And I was like, okay, let's go to Las Vegas because we can do a whole bunch of other stuff. And so I had seen all these posts on Instagram. People had commented, oh, it looks so cool, da, 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 da. Yeah, okay. So then I booked it. I booked it online and it was not cheap. And I booked it for both of us. And you had to purchase your sneakers ahead of time. So you had to buy. So imagine.
Which bothered me. I have to say that really irritated me.
You could buy them there, but there's no guarantee they would have.
They were outrageously expensive.
So I bought them ahead of time. Hold on. Okay.
I'll get into it afterwards. Go ahead.
So I bought them ahead of time and I wrapped them. Didn't I wrap them as a gift, as a birthday gift? Or no?
I think so. You put it in your suitcase. I didn't know that you had
I brought
them.
it.
Let's put it that way. Yes.
So all you knew is that we had some things planned and to be places at a certain time. And I literally planned this trip around it. So found the hotel close to where this place was, like orchestrated our schedule around this whole workshop event. Okay. Now that I'm older, I learned to be flexible after you've learned the hard way. So anyway, we go to Vegas, right? Okay. And then you can take it from there.
Okay. So Catherine pulls out these sneakers and she's like, okay, this is part of your gift. And I'm like, why do we need to bring sneakers if we're creating sneakers? Well, we were customizing sneakers that we brought. So that was the kind of the first interesting data point. So anyway, we get there.
Data point.
And I was looking, so we started to talk, we get there and we had a time, right? It was like, whatever, let's just say 1 o'clock. Now, what happened? So we get,
when we first walk in,
I thought we went in to look at it and then we left and then came back because it wasn't the time we were supposed to be there, but that might not be important.
I think we did or something, but I was looking for this workshop space in the store and I think it was 2 stories. Was it? I think it was.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
It was.
Okay. So I asked somebody, so we see this table. It's like a table on the side of the store. Okay. And there are these 2 teenage kids. I mean, they must have been like 12, 13, right?
Yeah, they were young.
They were these boys.
But the table, you have to give a little more description. The table literally was like a plastic fold-out table. It was small.
And I'm thinking,
uninviting.
Sure, and no one's around, right? Like there's one person over at the counter, the checkout counter. And I'm like, surely this is not it. Like this can't be it. This is what I'm thinking in my head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if this is it and it's for little kids, I'm going to be so ticked off. And so, because I had paid a lot of money for it and they had hyped this up on social. And so we asked this girl that worked there, I guess when we came back, we left and we came back. It was in a mall. What mall was it?
No, it was not.
It was casino.
In the Hoods Casino. So it was
that's right. Okay. And it was a really big, cool shop, and I was like, hey, excuse me. I said, we're here for a workshop. Okay. So what irritated me even, I know why we left. She said, oh, well, your time was at like an hour earlier. And I'm like, what? And I had printed out the receipt and I even looked it up on my phone and I'm like, no, it told us to be here at this time. And then she goes, oh, well, maybe it was the website's messed up with the time zone. That's happened before. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, we flew in for this. Like, I based this entire trip around this workshop. And she's like, well, if you want to go ahead and do the workshop, and she was nice. I don't want to say that she wasn't nice. She's like, but I'm happy to do the workshop with you if you want to do it now. And you and I kind of looked at each other and we're looking at the little kids at the table and there are no special materials really. I mean, there's like paint and brushes.
Yeah. And I asked the question too. I was like, well, can you stitch shoes? Is there like a way or is this just like arts and crafts? Because you looked at the table and it literally looked like, I thought we were making macaroni necklaces. Like we're back in nursery school. That's awful, how basic it was. And so I asked her as well. I said, well, if I don't want to do the shoes we brought, do you have any additional shoes? I thought maybe we could do something more.
Right.
Oh my gosh. These were, I'll give it some context. These were like Jordan 1 lows, which are not hype, in like an all white colorway. And they were charging like 500% markup. I mean, a couple $100 for a Jordan
insane.
1 Low, it was ridiculous. It was even more than like a StockX resale price, which is crazy. But in any case, we kind of keep walking around because we are in just bewildered.
Right.
Because when I say how excited I was for this, I was just like, this is going to be amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
Just because of what we had read about. And even I dipped into it afterwards because I was looking online when I was looking at that table. I was like,
right.
Well, this got to be a mistake, right? Like, this is some little kid's party. Is there pizza somewhere? Is Chuck E. Cheese going to jump out? Like something feels off. And sure enough, did not live up to those. It didn't even come close to any expectation other than what the F is this? Like, seriously, what is this?
I mean, I have to say, I was appalled. I could, now granted, they gave me a refund on it. So I was, and I wasn't rude to her, but I told her, I said, hey, this is what we saw and this is what we expected. So just for your information, if people are buying this package, and I said, especially if they're traveling in for it, because apparently this is the only one close by to us, like in any of the states. And which shockingly, I'm surprised Dallas doesn't have something like that. But it was a huge disappointment. And I felt so bad because that was supposed to be the big gift. And I mean, we still had a ton of fun.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that was a phenomenal trip. But
I was just like, okay, well, I was more upset than you were, and I was just like, oh my gosh.
Honestly, I'd be a pretty crappy person if I got mad at you for something you planned that didn't quite.
No, but you didn't have a bad attitude, which I love about you.
No.
So, but we were just like, wow, this is awful. You all need to not promote this. I said, if there's not even a dedicated workshop space for this, like you literally just popped a table up and you were like, hey, get some paints out. I just was appalled. And that doesn't happen often.
And there was no instruction. There was nobody teaching.
Which was it? I think it was like over $1,000.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And she gave me the refund. But it was like over $1,000, and I had to buy the shoes. So
I didn't realize it was that expensive.
Yeah, it was really expensive. That's why I thought, wow, this
and that's
is
a lot of money
amazing.
for us. Like that's a lot of money for us. We're not
for a workshop. Yeah. I mean, and so I think it was after that I was like, okay, I'm getting tired of these people that like create all these hype videos and then don't deliver, and that, because it had happened a few times with this on other things. And I was like, so we do give a lot of reviews now, not to like badmouth people, but to tell people what really is going on, because that's really false advertising.
But we also, to be fair, we give an honest review, and
we do.
We also give good and bad. Right? Like, or good or constructive. We're not just there.
I would say constructive. I don't like bad mouthing people or businesses. Yeah, I don't think that's right.
But this didn't feel like a one-off.
Don't do a good job. Yeah,
this didn't feel like a one-off, because literally there was no one there teaching the kids anything. The kids were just painting on shoes at random. And it felt completely like, hey, here's some crap. You could throw it on a shoe. Have fun.
It was like babysitting.
Which is a $30 experience, right? $30, you use the materials, you bring your own shoe, not $500+ per person. No.
Yeah. It was just, so I'm curious if other people have bought into an experience and you go and you're like, wow, this is not what I expected.
You almost want to come in. Yeah. You almost want to walk in with like an iPad and say, this is what I expected, and here's what you're giving me.
Yeah, so exactly.
There's a difference here. What's going on? Because this just doesn't match it doesn't even come close to meeting any expectation.
And I have to say too, it does bother me that I really do appreciate a personal touch from owners of businesses, or like I get that owners of businesses often, have businesses that are so large, but like Johnny Cupcake, very personal. He's always connected with his customers, so the sneaker person that the shoe store was built around, or the concept was built around, like I just felt gypped. Like I felt like there was no reference to him at all. There was no like you felt like you were getting this curated experience by this sneaker like professional, and
karma has a way of coming back around.
I know, it was so far from it that I was really disappointed. I was like, wow, what a ripoff. So
it was a bummer. It was a bummer, but that was a very small blemish on a very shiny, wonderful trip.
It was still really super awesome until I got home and had COVID, but it was still awesome.
So wait, we got to talk. So I know we're talking about experiences, but this is an experience. So I'm gonna Q&A you real quick.
Okay.
Catherine's never been to Vegas, so that was her first trip. Catherine has never been in a casino, which we did not stay in a casino, but we spent time in a casino. I'm not a huge gambler. Just, work too hard for my money.
Never gambled.
So Catherine has never gambled, ever. So I said, all right, let's, we don't have to play a table game. And that was the other thing. I was just really irritated at the table minimums. I mean, to play blackjack, I think the cheapest table we found was like $75.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was like, wow, that's $75 a hand is a little bit rich for me. So, any case,
a great experience.
I was like, yo, let's play some slot machines, right? Super easy. So, Catherine, I was like, pick a slot machine. We'll put $20 in, and just we can risk losing $20. So we're walking around and we're on the floor, and she's like, okay, let's play this one. It was a big goldfish electronic slot machine. So we feed the $20 in, and she's like, well, what do I do? And I was like, push the button. Okay, push the button. And it starts spinning, and we lose the first round. And then she's, what do I do? Hit the button again and keep hitting the button until you're out of money or until you win something and you want to cash out. So she keeps hitting the button, right? And she's good at hitting the button. She just keeps tapping the button. And all of a sudden it like hit, and she got like 20 or 30 free spins. And I was like, oh my God, you just got like 20 or 30 free spins. So she keeps tapping the button and keeps winning. And I'm like,
it was so fun.
I'm like, we're at 100, we're at 200, now we're at 400, 500. I'm like, we're at 500. She's like, no, we're not. I'm like, see that credit? That's $500.
I can't even read this stuff. I'm like, where is it showing that?
So I said, well, let's keep going. She keeps hitting the button. We're up to 600, keeps hitting the button, 700, 800. I think we got up to what? Was it?
It was over. It was like 860, something like that.
So I was like, we can either keep going because it's free money at this point. We're only invested $20. She says, no, let's cash out.
I
said,
just
okay,
had a
hit
feeling.
that button.
And plus, it covered some of my expenses for that trip.
So we cashed out the 860 plus bucks, and that is a great first gambling experience. And I feel like the expectation of gambling is and I could be wrong. I'm gonna exaggerate a little bit. At least this is what goes through my head, is you always win the first time. It's kind of like the first time you enter a sneaker raffle ever, you're going to hit.
Right.
You're just going to hit because it hooks you. Now you're hooked. Now you're like, well, I could play again, right? Let me take 600 of those $800.
Like, no.
So of course, I sit down at the slot machine, and in literally 2 minutes, I'm out $20, and then I'm out $40, then I'm out $60, and I'm like,
no, you stopped. You stopped.
I stopped at 60. I did jump around on a couple different, but yes.
But I was like, no, the cameras see me. I was like, quick. I actually didn't think they would actually give me the money. I thought it was too good to be true. I was like, quick, let's get to the window. And they gave me the money, and I was like, let's leave quick.
What, do you think they're going to take it back?
I don't know. Well, I never gambled before, so
I know. So it was great. I mean, but I do feel like that's the hook. You win your first time, so you go back feeling lucky. And
then we never win again. I was like, I'm one and done.
No, we gambled 2 days later. We were
at
walking
the other
through
end
Mirage.
of the strip.
Yeah. And we gambled for a little. We played 2 or 3 slot machines, and that was it.
But I was like,
wait, we played roulette one night.
We did?
Yeah, I put some chips down on roulette. Roulette's always, you don't really, roulette is true luck, in my opinion, but unless you're just betting colors.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that exceeded my expectations of gambling for you. But
yeah, that was a fun little experience.
And Vegas exceeded expectations. So
yeah, we did a lot of stuff that was non-gambling. Non-drinking, non-gambling.
Although it was fun to watch Catherine almost crash out as we did the zip line over Fremont Street.
I forgot about that.
talk about expectations. So I'm like, let's do the zip line. I've always wanted to do it, never did it. So I'm like, and Catherine doesn't like heights. So truth be told, she doesn't like heights.
Yeah, no heights.
So trooper.
Or amusement parks.
I've dragged her all around. So snowboarding, on a lift.
Oh, yeah. We got to talk about that experience.
And then, but on Fremont Street, we do the zip line, and you had to go at like midnight.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that was the thing. You didn't really, I had to do the research, and I was like, it's either midnight or 1 a.m. And man, it was late, and I was so tired.
Yeah. But Fremont Street, like on a Saturday,
is packed.
Midnight it's an experience within itself. So it was lit.
Pot.
It was lit. There was a lot going on.
Yes.
Well, there was no instructions. We get to the zipline place and could not figure out
where to go check in.
Like where to go to check in at all. So we're just kind of wandering, and we're looking for anyone else that's wandering, thinking, all right, well, maybe we can just kind of hitch onto their wagon and see where they go. I even forget how we figured it out.
No. So we went in, there was a little store, like there was a little storefront. So, and it's had the Zipline logos or signage. So I went in, and they're like, oh, you got to climb the tower. So we had to climb up the tower. So it's like dark. There's no one around the tower. Okay. And it's like climbing one of those, what are those things called? The electrical towers, not the telephone.
Electric pole?
No, it's not the electric pole. It's the other ones. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Think of it as if you've ever been in the Statue of Liberty, it's like climbing the stairs in the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, but it's like a ladder. Oh, were there stairs?
There
so
you
climb
stairs.
up the... Oh, that's right. Okay, so you climb the stairs.
It wasn't a ladder. You were not rappelling or rappelling down or up. So there was...
All right, so we get to the top. And finally we get to the top, and we're like... And then everybody's up there, like all the people that work there. And they put... there's like a big group of us. So, and you got to lay down on these huge foam squares, and they put you in this, belt. It's like a mountain climbing gear.
A harness.
But you got a harness. Yes, thank you. I'm struggling with words. And so I'm laying there, and I think I had to go to the bathroom or something. Anyway, but it was not
you were in a panic. I mean, you were barely audible
with that thing.
You couldn't even speak. You were so nervous.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die on this. That's what I think. Even when we went to Disney, another experience, actually, we should talk about.
Gosh, yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to die on this thing. I'm going to fly, like it's going to unhook. I'm going to splat on Fremont Street. It's awful. So, but we passed the time. It takes a while. It takes like an hour for them to get you all set up. And I don't know what took so long.
I'm all right with them taking their time, though. Especially when my life is involved. I can.
But these are like kids, like no offense to kids, but they were like college student age. Maybe they were
thorough.
Later.
I will say that was a tightly run operation.
They do this on the daily.
Yeah, no, so I didn't feel unsafe. We were sober.
I always
we were sober. We were sober.
Oh, yeah.
There was no...
Yeah, we were. No. Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, there was no liquid courage or anything involved.
No.
This was...
But we talked to this mom and daughter in front of us. You remember? And then there was a couple that was there for the husband's birthday, and they were from Texas. Mm-hmm. And so it was fun just kind of chatting with people while we were getting all suited up and everything. And then they'd release us, and I would not open my eyes. And I finally did, because you were like, open your eyes. And I'm like, no. And they do the video of you, so you can purchase like photos of yourself
well, they give you a
send
camera.
It to you. Yeah, they give you a camera on the helmet.
So you have a camera attached.
And then they send you the video. And that was really cute. I mean, it was a really fun little souvenir. But man, yeah, it was
You had fun.
No, I did after it was over. No, we had fun. It was good. That was a good experience.
That was
it was
fun.
Pretty much what we thought it was going to be. So it was what they advertised and what was expected. Then let's go to snowboarding. Snowboarding. Do you want to talk about snowboarding?
Sure. So I've been snowboarding over 20 years. And
You're the expert.
Not an expert. I like to snowboard.
You're from Philly.
Right, which is the snowboarding capital of the world. So I I travel to Colorado quite a bit to snowboard. That's my jam.
Yeah.
I like Colorado. Almost. Yeah. This will be the first year we don't go. Wah, wah. Makes me sad. But
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh man, that's heartbreaking. I can go by myself.
I'm kidding.
So it's a hobby I truly enjoy, and I enjoy doing it with somebody. Pause. Yes. So Catherine had never snowboarded, being from Memphis, not a huge mountainous, snowy state.
All right.
So I said, would you be willing to go? I'll get you gear. We'll rent you stuff. She's like, sure. Being the adventurer that she is. So,
well, I really did it because I love you.
Can you leave something up to just making me feel like the world is crushing me as it is?
That should make you feel good that I love you so much that I will go. Well, no, we've had fun. And plus, I'm athletic and I like doing athletic things. So I had my dad's side of the family, they were big skiers. I had never gone. And so I was like, oh, that looks cool. Like we watched videos on it. And I was like, let's go.
So we drive from Texas to Colorado. We pack up the car. And I was renting equipment for Catherine. I was like, let's not go all out. Rent some equipment. I'll buy you some gear. We get to the mountain. I get her a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets all geared up. It was. And you did really good your first day.
Yeah.
So I'm out and about. Ripping around, and I forget, did you take a lesson the second day? Did I get you 2 days of lessons?
I had 2 days.
And then the third day...
The first day was kind of like the intro. The second day was they would take me up to like the slope or whatever. And, because of my fear of heights, we were kind of further up on the mountain. And so I was able to get down, this short little extent of snow. And then they take it. What's that thing called? That little ramp that takes you up. It's like an escalator.
It's the carpet
or something.
We call it the carpet.
Yeah. But towards the end, I was like, I'm going to fly off the cliff. It was really scary for the moment, but it was fine. I mean, the lessons were really, really good. Like they do a very good job. So I want to make sure to say that.
No, shout out to Breck. Breck
then the third
is one of my favorite mountains. Yes. The third day, Catherine was with me. I said, oh, how you feeling? She's like, oh, I feel pretty good. I was like, okay. Now, granted, Colorado, the mountains are vast. So the blues are not the blues, the greens, there's a lot. So I was like, okay, let's go up. Right. So let's go up to one of the greens that is a little bit wider and longer. So, because it's awfully congested where we were.
Yeah.
And anybody that snowboards or skis, I mean, we have a toxic relationship between snowboarders and skiers, right? Like we're the knuckle draggers and, the plankers and all this stuff. And we push all the snow off the mountain, and skiers are just, skiers. But no shade. We love each other. It's just not on the mountain. So I wanted to get somewhere a little less crowded. So we go up to one of the less crowded slopes. And I think that's where the true fear started to set in because first of all, we went on a higher speed lift and it was like a 6-person chair, which is always fun when it's all 6 people on the chair and you're kind of like getting off the chair and you're like, okay, my back foot's not strapped in. I just have my front foot strapped in. I am literally 2 days old on a snowboard. So asking somebody to be able to, get off the lift with 1 foot out of the binding and then, actually get out of the way, it's stressful. I mean, it was
not going to happen.
I get stressed out. So we get you off the lift, which you did okay. I mean, you did okay. I think you twisted your knee that day, but
I literally fell every single time.
Did you?
And I gave up. I was like, I'm not even going to try to stand up and like snowboard towards like away from the lift. I literally gave up and I was like, I accept the fact that I'm going to fall off the lift every single time.
So we're swooshing down, right? You're going down. Pause. You're making your way slowly, which is fine. We were having fun.
And my legs are burning.
Yeah, because the slower you go, the more energy you're exerting because you're constantly stopping, right? So you're plowing down.
And I had not figured out the full movement like the full movement of like a snowboard, left, right going around in the S shape.
Talk about not meeting expectations. I don't know what we expect when we're starting something for the first time, why we think we'll just pick it up.
I know.
I skied for over 10 years before I strapped on a snowboard. And I was like, okay, this is hard, right? Like, this is not easy. So I couldn't imagine doing it with zero experience of any snow sports. So again, kudos to Catherine for taking that plunge. But so I won't go through the whole experience. I'll just share the one where literally she had a nasty wipeout and hit her rear end.
Oh, well, that was throughout the entire day, the whole week. I kept falling on my rear end.
And you were crying because you got so frustrated, not because you were in pain, but you were so frustrated that you couldn't stand up. So after you would fall down, you couldn't get back up.
And we were midway through the mountain. And I was like, I don't know if I can get back up. And I was so aggravated with not like you, but myself for not being able to do this thing. I'm like, this is so annoying. And I was like bawling on the mountain, sitting on the side.
So.
And I was angry, crying.
You were. And to your point, you were determined and you got down the mountain.
I did.
I knew at that point it was time to call it a day. Right. Like there is a point where it's like, okay, it's the law of diminishing returns. You're not having fun and you're not enjoying this. And
you didn't get mad at me, though, say you didn't get mad. You weren't like, oh, you're ruining my time. You were.
I will tell you this. Shout out to my friends that taught me how to snowboard, because they taught me that is, going out with people at all different levels. You're just out there to have fun. That's it.
Yeah.
And so that was important to me, that when you're no longer having fun, the day is over. Because it's not just, because I could always say, okay, you go back and I'll stay out for a couple more hours.
And I would have been okay with that. But you didn't want to.
So we get back to the Airbnb and you're like, oh man, I'm really beat up. And I'm like, oh, all right, how bad could it be? Well, you took a bath.
Wasn't this
second day? Second or third day. Anyway, it happened throughout her bruise on her rear end.
I still have the photo, but I'm not posting it.
Was so purple and black and green.
My entire backside.
I've never seen anything like it. And the crazy thing is, it still hurts you to this day.
Yeah, my left butt cheek.
Like 4 or 5 years later.
When I sit down for too long on it.
Yes, it's wild. But we've had some interesting Colorado experiences. I'll tell one quick story about, was it the second year we went? Or was it the third? Anyway, we went back and it was my first run. And I put to give Catherine, I shouldn't say I put you in. You went into a lesson for like a half day or a morning session just to get reacclimated. Plus, you had your own equipment this time, which was different than riding rental equipment. Once you cross over to your own equipment, it definitely is different. So especially when I think they rented you like a little kid's board. It was weird. It was not a great board. It was beat up and the boots were comfortable because they were so beat. They were so cooked. Yeah. So anyway, I go out for a session and, I took a lesson. That's right. I took a lesson I took an advanced lesson because I wanted to hit certain parts of the mountain that you needed a guide to go with. So we're ripping around. I think we were on we had to go up 3 or 4 different lifts to get to where we were going and then hike a bit.
Yeah.
And it was my first run. So I was cold. My legs weren't warmed up. It was my first run of the entire season. And me being an idiot, I was not stretched. I was not warmed up. I was not prepared. So I get on my board and I feel great. Right. I feel great. I drop in, I'm shredding, I'm carving, doing all the fun things, and I'm ripping around. And the guy's like, okay. And I was asking for him to kind of watch my form and give me any tips. So we are kind of, as a group, I think there was 4 of us. We were all playing, kind of going fast and, not racing, but just having some fun on the mountain, like follow the leader type stuff. So I was the leader at one point and I took a wide I wanted to get a deep carve at a very steep section of the mountain. I don't know what happened. Now, this was my first year riding step-ins. So not that bindings would have been any different, like strap bindings, but I wasn't used to kind of the the responsiveness, the level of responsiveness is different with step-ins than it is with strap bindings, at least in my experience. So, and I was riding a new board, which was much smaller. I usually ride like a 164 and this was a 153. And I was like, okay, well, it was much faster than my larger board. I'm boring the crap out of everyone. Long story short, I take this wide turn, super deep carve, and I get wedged. I don't know what happened. I hit a rock. Because I kind of went down the embankment. I didn't see the rock. And as I was coming up, my board got locked into, like wedged into this rock. So my body kept moving and my board didn't. So I launched and I was like, oh, and I felt something in my calf. And I'm like, well, that doesn't feel good. There's definitely something going on. So the intelligent person would have stopped. But the unintelligent person, AKA Andrew, decided to keep snowboarding. So I kept snowboarding. And then I went up towards a much more challenging part of the mountain. Thank God I was wearing a helmet. And I drop in. And because the instructor was like, yo, are you sure you're okay? That looked like a nasty spill. I'm like, oh, yeah, fine. I'll rub some dirt on it. I'm good. So we were up and we're at the expert, like it was a double black diamond, and double black diamonds out in Colorado are hit much different than the East Coast. So we drop in and it's a very steep, rocky, mogul-y section, which I hate moguls. I'm just too old. And I hit a bump and a rock, popped up again, landed on my like shoulder and helmet. I cracked my helmet and literally tore my jacket. Yeah. I was like, then I knew it was time to go. Cause even the instructor's like, hey, I think you should take a break. So anyway, I call it, I meet up with you and I'm like, I think I snowboarded with you for maybe an hour after. Yeah. And I was like, hey, I'm not feeling so great. Can we go back? We go back and my leg looks swollen, but it wasn't too bad at that point.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, are you okay? And you were like, yeah, and we didn't think any more about it.
So the next morning we go out for a morning session, Catherine and I think I got in 2 or 3 runs and I'm like, okay, I don't think I can do this anymore.
Yeah.
So the geniuses or the genius that I am, I was like, all right, well, let's go to Vail and just walk around. Right. So we'll finish at least the half the day doing something outside. So we're walking around. And I was like, man, I'm in a lot of pain. I think I got to tap out. We really walked for a while.
Yeah.
So we go to the hospital. I was like, all right, and I'm no stranger to the hospital at Breck. So I go into the hospital and I tore my entire calf. They're like, oh yeah, you're done. You're done. I was like, done? What are you talking about? I just got here. Like, no. They're like, you snowboarded on this the next day? I was like, yeah.
And it had gotten swollen.
Oh, man, it was bad. It was bad.
It was
and
humongous.
Black and blue. And,
the whole calf. Yeah.
So,
and then we were like, yeah, we think something's wrong with it. That poor thing. It was awful.
Yeah, it was. It was. And has never been the same since. But we've had some interesting...
Was it the next year that you were on, like you were taking some medication for kidney stones?
No, 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before our trip. Now, I planned this trip way in advance. Just because
months
it books up and you need to book a lot sooner. And we usually like to go end of February and beginning of March because it's right before spring break. It's usually a good time. There's lots of snow and the weather isn't too brutal. But yes, I had kidney stones, which are awful. I don't know how I got them. It was the worst pain I've felt in a long time.
Yeah, it was bad.
And they put me on medication. Well, I had an allergic reaction to the medication. I literally looked like I put on like 60 pounds. It swelled me up. Like,
it was horrible.
Catherine's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like bloated. She's like, you look bloated.
And that was like within a week period. It was bad.
Yeah. So I had to stop taking the medication, blah, blah, blah. So thank goodness the kidney stones had subsided because there's nothing better than driving, 12, 13 hours
it was,
with kidney stones.
But I will say last year, how many years have we gone now? Last year was probably one of the
5.
Well, 2 years ago was probably one of the best. And I was snowboarding my best last year. So, and we finally got to a point where we weren't having any issues.
Yeah.
On the trips.
hey, the way I look at it is you've only snowboarded like 20 days in your life.
Yeah, true.
Right? Just because you do it in 5 consecutive days doesn't make you an expert. So again, we have to reset our expectations on ourselves because it's tough. And we all do it. Like I thought I would strap on a snowboard after being really good at skiing and just rip. Right? I was clearly mistaken. So
experiences. Some good, some you're not expecting, some not so great.
They're tough. It's tough to get hype. It's, you know what? I feel like some of the social media content, it paints a certain picture, but is it our fault for expecting it to match that? Or is it their fault for creating fiction and really not living up to the hype? Maybe it's a little bit of both.
I don't know.
It's frustrating.
I always feel like advertising is just that. I mean, you're trying to make whatever it is look really good. You're trying to entice people to try things.
We should just call it lying.
That's what I used to think. I was like, it's just a big fat lie. That's all advertising is. But I mean, it's not. Sometimes we have really great experiences and we're like, wow, this is exactly, you just never know. It's a 50-50 chance, But I would say, do you have people like on social that you follow where you're like, these people tell me if it's a good experience or not, like for real? Because I have a couple people that I follow now where I'm like, yeah, I believe they're going to tell me the truth about an experience. Because sometimes, like we talked about this, some people think an experience is really great and then we might think it's awful or vice versa. It's like movies. Some people love certain movies and other people don't.
You just read my mind. Yeah, so I don't think I'm good at following. I just feel like I'm a hard customer. That's what my friends tell me, especially with movies. So,
well, yeah. Movies in general.
Or TV shows. I'm just like, why would you? So yes, I feel like I'm a hard customer to please, but I don't feel I'm unrealistic. But maybe that's how most people feel that are unrealistic. It's like, do stupid people know they're stupid? So I don't know. I struggle with finding an experience that leaves me in a place where I'm like, wow, that was really good.
Right.
Like the game show, I walked out of there with a big ass smile on my face.
Yeah.
Had a great time. We laughed. We had fun. So, that bar to me is not too high.
No, it's not. So what makes a great experience? Maybe we could end on like what we expect. Great customer service.
Yes. And people can't be miserable. Like I don't want to walk in somewhere where everyone looks like, and I get it. It's a job, but customer service to me is important. So,
I mean, at least be a little like, we're not asking for a lot, but if you're like moping around, like,
or like you don't even acknowledge that somebody's in the room.
That's true. That has happened a lot.
And your job is to literally greet somebody and kind of walk, like take their ticket.
Right.
That's tough. Like
it is.
I know. So
yeah. And value for the money, I would say. Like good customer service and value for the money. Like don't gouge people for like, I don't know. I can't even think of an example for for the Las Vegas experience. It's like over $1,000 for this. Like that's a $25 workshop.
Don't worry. He got his karma. Trust me. He got his karma.
And I got the refund. But yeah, I think it's pretty simple. I don't think people are asking for a whole lot. But maybe we are. I don't know.
I guess, it really only does take one apple to spoil the bunch, one bad apple.
Yeah.
Because, people also have unrealistic expectations of employees or people that are creating. I just feel like you can't have it all. So there has to be a balance. A balance. But I would hope that it would be close to what they're advertising and that the people that are involved in the experience are at least interested.
Yeah.
So maybe I am unrealistic. Maybe my expectations aren't great, but who knows?
Nah.
Who knows? But wow, I didn't think we'd get 20 minutes on this topic, but we really bored everyone on this one. So we'll try.
You're terrible.
Terribly amazing. It's hard to be this amazing. I know.
Uh-huh.
You struggle with it daily.
Yeah, no, I'm sure everybody can relate. I would love to hear everybody's like one of your top experiences, good or bad. I know people have had similar experiences, so hopefully people put some things in the chat.
So that's gonna wrap it up for the what were we calling this? Echoes of what could have been?
Yeah.
Is that the name of this episode? Echoes of what could have been. So that's going to bring this one to a close. We have a couple interesting shows coming up, some really cool topics that we're going to get into. And thanks for listening. Thank you for subscribing, liking, engaging. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, doing all the things on all the platforms. And have a happy holiday.
That's all right. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. We'll see you. We'll have one before the end of the year. Maybe we'll do a New Year's one. I think
of course we will.
Can tease up. Yes. So I think that'll be the next one. So make sure you stay tuned and tune in to the next episode. And that's going to bring this one to a close. So thanks for listening to The Well. And I'm Drew.
And I'm Kat.
We're out. We need a better sign off, but
peace out.
I'm out. Peace.
Bye.